Back to our guests here in the studio, we have Dr. Esperanza Cayanan. She's with the Pag-asa. Emerson Carlos, Assistant GM for Operations of the MMDA. And joining us now is ASEC, tama po ba?
Opo.
Unless I'm promoting you. ASEC
Tama
Umali.
Tama po yan. Assistant Secretary Tony
Assistant
Umali
Secretary.
po.
Okay. Of DepEd.
Tama
okay. So we were, before the report, we were talking about, ito nga, yung, siguro yung, I guess, the use of common sense, siguro, no, ng mga LGs. But anyway, I wanted to ask you, Dr. Cayanan, earlier we were talking about this rainfall warning system. Rainfall warning system, no? And you have certain alerts that will measure, no, the amount of rainfall, and then meron siyang corresponding colors.
Yes, ma'am. So, dun po sa rainfall warning system, meron po tayong three color-coded na warnings. We have the yellow, which is just informing that awareness wherein there is possible flooding, and then the green one, wherein the flooding is threatening, and then the red one, which is emergency already, that would be for evacuation already.
Okay. At meron pong measurement, ano? Yung yellow is, ano po yun? 7.5 to 15 millimeters of rain.
Yeah, for heavy rainfall.
So you issued a what alert this morning?
This morning, early in the morning, we issued threatening.
Yellow.
Actually, it's supposed to be green.
Green.
For the early one, for about 3:22 a.m.
Okay.
And then this morning, since the rainfall already slowed down or it's not heavy anymore, so we issued the yellow warning.
Okay, so parang dinowngrade.
Dinowngrade po natin.
But kumbaga, the damage had already been done because the floods are there already.
Yeah, but we have warned already at 3.
Yes.
3 a.m.
And you were also saying during the live report that if you're still not sure, hindi pa final, no, yung rainfall measurements per warning.
Actually, we are still on the experimental mode since kailangan namin ma-validate kung tama ba itong mga thresholds natin. Since hindi pa natin, we based actually the threshold for the 2010 floods. So, what amount of rainfall will cause some flooding over the Metro Manila. So, we will be adjusting these values, these threshold values.
Okay. When you say adjusting,
say for example,
it will be lower?
Yeah, it could be lower or it could be higher. So, for this event, we think that even though that the rainfall for the morning is already lowered, we still have some floods. So maybe we could add another criterion wherein if the rainfall is continuous, it does not need to be from 7.5 to 15. So
it could be lower.
Yeah, it could be lower. So we will be adjusting them.
Okay. So once the LGUs, MMDA, all other government agencies hear that it is a yellow alert, meaning threatening.
Yellow is just awareness. Flooding is possible.
Flooding is possible.
Yes.
Pwede na sila mag-suspend ng classes?
Actually, monitor muna, but then we could really monitor through the web because we already have available rainfall information.
Okay. We have here also, of course, ASEC. I just promoted you again. ASEC Umali of the DepEd. Of course, sir, you're here not because you are, wala naman po sa inyo ngayon ang, kumbaga, ang poder na mag-suspend ng classes. Hindi po ba?
Tama po yun.
Oo. And that happened because there was a lot of, many past experiences.
Hindi naman po. Siguro ang dahilan po pag nabasa po natin yung EO 66, the premise there is that the local chief executives in their capacity as head of the local risk reduction management council are in the best position to assess whether classes should be suspended or not due to flooding or kung ano man po yung mga sitwasyon sa ibaba na magiging mapanganib po sa ating mga mag-aaral na pumasok. Dapat po nating tandaan na ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito ay yung sitwasyon na wala pong bagyo at wala pong typhoon signal, in other words, na dineklara. Kasi kung mayroon pong bagyo at may typhoon signal na dineklara, ang Pag-asa, klarong-klaro na po ang ating patakaran. Yan po ang unang dapat nating tandaan. Pangalawa, dapat po natin ding tandaan na ang ating pong bansa ay isa pong bansa na may dalawang klima po lamang. Yan po ay ang tag-ulan at tag-init. Kung ang atin pong mga pamahalaang lokal, sa kaso po ngayon, dahil sila po ngayon ang binigyan ng kapangyarihan na magdeklara ng walang pasok o wala sa ganitong mga sitwasyon, ay kaagad-agad na magdedeklara ng walang pasok dahil lamang po sa umulan ng malakas mula 1:00 hanggang 3:00 ng madaling araw, baka wala na pong mangyari sa ating pong pasukan. We have 200 school days, mandatory 180 school days po ang amin pong tinatadhana. 6 na buwan po tayong may pag-ulan. Kaya po dapat po nating intindihin ang ating pong mga pamahalaang lokal kung hindi man po sila kaagad makapagdeklara ng walang pasok. Kasi kung dalawa po yung oras na ibinigay po, actually 3 po yan, yung cut-off period under EO 66. Ang una po yung 10:00, siguro po nabanggit na po ng ating mga panauhin, ng gabi bago po yung araw na pinag-uusapan natin kung may pasok o wala. Kapag hindi po ma-predict, tulad po ng sinabi ng Pag-asa, kung malakas po ang pag-ulan na darating, abangan po natin yung 4:30 na declaration po ng ating mga pamahalaang lokal. Yun po yung cut-off time at pinag-uusapan po natin dyan yung pasok po sa umaga. Kasi maaari po na ang pagdating naman po ng malakas na pagbuwang ng ulan ay sa hapon. So, okay din po yun sa konteksto na, lalo na po sila dito sa Kamaynilaan na mayroon po tayong 2 shifts, na magkaroon po ng pasok ang ating mga mag-aaral sa umaga. At sa hapon no, ay okay pong isuspinde. Ang pangatlo pong oras na dapat po nating bantayan yung 11:00 po ng umaga. At ito po lang po ang nais kong idagdag, Ms. Ontiveros. Ito pong ganitong mga issue ay kinaharap din po ng ibang bansa. Sa ibang bansa, maaari po ang kanilang pinag-uusapan po ay yelo, hindi po pag-ulan. Sa atin po ay pag-ulan at pagbaha. At kailangan po talagang intindihin po natin kung ano po yung sitwasyon po natin. Ang ating pong gobyerno ay, para po sa amin, sinusuportahan po namin yung panukala ng Malacanang. Dapat bigyan lang po natin ng panahon. Umulan, ngunit nagsuspindi naman po ang ating mga
around 9 or 10
lokal.
in the morning.
Dahil nga po doon po lamang natin, unless ang
Pero
Pag-asa
umaga pa lang,
sasabihin
1 o'clock, 1:30, malakas ang ulan, nagkakaroon na ng flooding in several parts of Metro Manila.
Tama po yun, pero hindi naman po lahat.
Okay.
At pwede pong i-verify po ng Pag-asa. Dahil sa ating pong bansa, maaaring umuulan ng malakas sa Quezon City, nangyari po ito nung una, ngunit sa Maynila ay hindi po nagkaroon ng malakas ng pag-ulan. Nung nangyari po ito, at hindi po nagdeklara ng suspension ng klase, halimbawa po ang Maynila. Ngunit ang Malabon, I'm talking about yung una. Ngayon kasi halos lahat sila nagsuspindi.
Anyway, well, yeah, okay. But, sige, let's get back to that in a while. I just have to go first to Director Edgar Olet of the Operations Department of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Director, good evening. Welcome to Solar Network News. Director?
Hello.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Pwede pong pakilakasan, ma'am.
Pakilakas ang boses ko. Director Olet,
Opo.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, this is
That's
Pia
good enough.
Yes, sir. This is Pia Ontiveros. You're live on Solar Network News. Ang EO 66 po says that the local disaster risk reduction and management councils should be on top of the situation. Is that correct?
Tama po yan. Yan po, it is embodied in Executive Order number 66. Section 2, localized cancellation or suspension of classes and work in government offices. Like what had happened today, because of the low pressure area, there is the absence of typhoon signal warnings.
Right.
From Pag-asa. So the localized cancellation and suspension of classes and work in government offices is lodged on the local chief executive.
The LGUs and the LDRRMC.
Opo.
Okay. Pero ang nangyari po ay yung ibang mayors nag-declare ng suspension of classes around 9 or 10 in the morning.
Yes, it could be maari po siguro doon sa kanilang support system sa decision making nila. First, yun pong information ay meron na pong efficient system po ang Pag-asa for for the rain and in the affected areas also. And the Department of Education is also given some space in terms of kung localized po, site-specific yung epekto nito doon sa mga lugar ng LGU. na kung
Is-
saan mayroong hindi lang yung baha, kundi pwede natin yung tingnan din because rain can also loosen the soil. At pwede nakikita natin ngayon hindi lang yung baha kundi yung mismong pagguho ng mga lugar na pinalambot
Right.
loosened because of the rain. Ito yung
Right.
mga tinatawag nating rain-induced landslides na kasama po ito dapat sa sa posibleng tingnan nating anggulo para mailigtas natin yung mga bata. At the other thing is yung responsibility ng parents kapag if there is no order for cancellation and suspension of classes has been issued, if the parents feel that traveling to and or from school will place their children at risk, pwede po nilang hindi payagan yung kanilang mga anak. Ito po yung nakapaloob sa Department of Education Order number 43, series of 2012, approved on May 28, 2012.
Director, is there a solution that the NDRRMC can think of? Because apparently this system didn't really work today.
I think kailangan natin i-intensify our advocacy and information education campaign. Siguro simulan natin sa Parents and Teachers Associations. Kasi
Bakit po yung
pinaka-importante yun, the
parents and-
parents themselves
Oo.
should know the implication of not only typhoon signal because these are more obvious weather disturbances, but the lesser ones which are
Yes.
actually itong tinatawag nating mahinang ulan pero tuloy-tuloy naman. Sabi nga ng persistent light to moderate rains.
Yes,
These
well,
are more deadly
yeah.
right now rather than doon sa mga naunang alam natin na traditional na mga bagyo. So intensive education information drive lalo sa Philippine parents and teachers.
But Director, yes,
Opo.
we don't have much time, no. But
Yes.
the thing is, why would you focus on the parents and the teachers when it's the LGUs that are, mandated according to EO 66 to make the decision? So hindi po ba ata yung information drive nyo ata dapat sa LGUs?
Apo?
Dapat ata yung information drive nyo para sa LGUs.
Yun po ang second level actually. Naunahan mo lang. The second level will be the LGU. Dahil sila na rin po yung ating chairman sa mga Local Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council. The other thing, kailangan siguro nilang mag-increase ang kanilang awareness and competency nila sa map reading and literacy, and even to include typhoon tracking and hazard risk assessment. These are available at the national. These are the things that we can augment or complement by providing technical assistance to the local government. Pwede po nating gawin ito sa mga workshops, sa mga information drives.
All right. Thank you very much, Director Olet. I'm sorry we
Okay,
don't have
you're
enough
welcome,
time po tonight. Maraming salamat po, Director Olet of the NDRRMC. Just to close this portion of the newscast, balik lang po tayo dun sa storm signals kasi yun po yung yun po yung basehan ngayon for college students. I know wala po yung shed dito. Kaya lang, ang sabi po nila, pag storm signal number 3, that's the only time na walang pasok yung mga college students. But then, as many netizens, people on Twitter, on Facebook have been asking, bakit po ba yung mga college students, waterproof po ba sila? I mean, hindi ba sila nababasa? Yung mga ganun. What can we do about this?
Well, we should also look into this now. Typhoon signals, madali lang yan. It's very automatic. But what we fear most dito sa MMDA are low pressure areas. Because pag umuulan and consistent ang ulan, even though it's not heavy yung measurement, but if it's consistent, this would cause flooding and it would take a longer time. Unlike a typhoon storm, dadaan lang yan and then wala na. It won't really cause so much flooding. But LPAs, we're more afraid of LPAs than storms actually.
Asikumali?
ayoko pong
Unless you
magkomento
wanna be promoted to
dahil
CHED.
po, dahil po sa CHED, ano po yan, issue. Pero ito lang pong,
Yes.
ang pagtingin ko po dito sa nangyayari pong ito. Ang nakikita ko po dahil ngayon po lamang natin na pinapatupad dito na kung saan binigay na po natin sa mga pamahalang lokal ang kapangyarihan na, though meron po silang kapangyarihan maski nung nakaraan pa, pero kasama ang DepEd. At DepEd po ang nanguna. Ngayon po talaga LGU.
Sila na talaga.
Dapat po sana pagbigyan po nating mag-work itong EO na ito. Ang nakikita ko po rito ay ginawa naman po ng ating mga pamahalang lokal ang kanilang tungkulin. At ang nangyari po siguro rito ay
Baka maraming mag-react dyan.
nagsuspend din naman po sila ng klase, Miss Ontiveros. Dahil hindi po talaga natin mapipredict unless Pag-asa can say na tuloy-tuloy po
Mapipredict,
yung,
oo. But by
yung
the
pagbuhos
time,
ng ulan.
oo.
Hindi lang pagbuhos ng ulan, Miss Ontiveros.
Yeah, I know, but the
Pati
flooding
po yung
po
pagbaha.
kasi, well, there was already flooding early morning. Like in
Pero
certain
maaari pong
parts of
mawala
Metro
po yun.
Manila.
Halimbawa po yung una.
Here in Metro Manila, with our...
Ibalik po natin halimbawa po
system.
doon sa unang nangyari po. I-relate din po natin sa ngayon. Navotas at Malabon at Marikina po lamang ang mga syudad na nag-cancela nung una na talagang citywide. Manila po hindi. Sabi po ni Mayor Lim, ako po yung nagmo-monitor dito at nakikita ko naman na wala namang pagbaha, maski umulan, kaya naman po. Ganun po talaga ang dapat po na pagmo-monitor nating gagawin. At kung nangyari man po ito, siguro dapat po nating maunawaan na ito po talaga ang sitwasyon ng ating bansa. Ang klaro po, ganun po talaga may inconvenience sa ibang bansa, ganyan po ang nangyayari.
Okay.
Kung ang iniisip po ng ating mga kababayan at kami po humihingi ng pangunawa ay ang gusto po natin kapag bumuhos ng ulan ay talagang dapat wag bumaha at pag bumaha ay dapat alam ninyong lahat. Huwag nyo
Okay.
na kaming papasukin. Ay, sana po maunawaan po nila na ito po ang sitwasyon ng ating bansa sa ngayon.
Oo.
Nagkansila po ng pasok.
Okay,
And
okay.
it's not even our job. I mean, it should be DILG should be talking about this. I think they did their job given the situation na lumakas lamang po talaga ang pagbuhos ng ulan
Okay.
nung nakapasok na po ang ating mga mag-aaral. At kinansila naman po ang klase sa hapon.
A brief reply from Pag-asa.
Sa Pag-asa naman po, ginagawa po namin yung monitoring hourly at binibigyan namin ng pagkakataon na malaman ng publiko. So we tweet the rainfall every hour, especially kung meron pong malakas na ulan. And then yung pong buhos talaga ng ulan ng 2:00 na more than 20 millimeters per hour, bigla po talaga yon. Kaya kahit po medyo merong bumaba na yung susunod na mga ulan, yung impact po kasi nung biglang buhos within 1 hour, that's too big na talagang makontain na hindi
okay.
makapagpabaha.
Alright.
So ginagawa po naman namin yung aming tungkulin. Siguro we should have a good communication with LGUs para lagi silang ma-inform kung ano yung nangyayari because we have now the radars na ginagamit sa pag-monitor ng rainfall.
Well, anyway, maybe they were not informed. But anyway, maraming salamat po. Thank you for coming. The Assistant GM for Operations of the MMDA, Emerson Carlos, Dr. Esperanza Cayanan of Pag-asa, and Asek Umali of DepEd. Thank you so much for being here tonight with us.